Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to Soundline. Today I am talking to you guys about some new subwoofers. This is Monitor Audio's latest subwoofer range that they have just brought out. It's called Anthra. They make a 10-inch, a 12-inch and a 15-inch subwoofer in either gloss black or matte white. They're really good sounding subwoofers. I've had a play with them. They go great with Monitor Audio speakers, as you would imagine. But they're subwoofers. There's not usually a lot to talk about when it comes to the tone or the timbre of these kind of bassy speakers. They normally just sort of add a little bit of bottom end and fill out the rest of your sound system or give you the bass in your home theatre. So what is different about these subwoofers compared to other subwoofers? Why are we making a dedicated video on these? These subwoofers have something quite cool in them, but now having used it, I actually really like it and I'm totally on board with it. All these subwoofers here have Wi-Fi built in, so they will connect to your home network and then you can control them through an app on your phone, which I'm going to show you in a minute. In using it, when I was sitting there in the listening position playing with them and listening to some music, I could on the fly while I'm listening to music change the level, the crossover, the EQ of the subwoofer I was listening to as I was listening to it. There was no running back and forward between the couch and the subwoofer, no having to move the position of it, no trying a little bit more on the phase or this or that. I could just do it whilst I was playing music from the listening position. These do have controls on the back of them, by the way. We'll show you the back in a minute, but the idea is that you would set these up on Wi-Fi and do it from your app. Okay, so in my app here, the Monitor Audio Maestro Unite app, so you can see I've got my W10 at the top, the W15 and the W12 subwoofer. I'll go into the 10 as an example. So I can go into here, I'll click on it. Okay, we've got the name, serial number and the firmware, which is good. I can turn it on and off from here, so there's a wee off button. Got a quick, easy control for the volume slider. EQ, this is quite cool. This is probably one of the more powerful things that you don't see in most subwoofers. You've got your default one, music, which is just a roll off at 80 Hertz. Movie, it's got a bit more bass towards the upper end and reduces the infrasonic impact. And then you've got 3 custom filters. So any one of these custom filters, I can do up to 8 bands. So if I turn on one here, you'll see I set the frequency to 92 Hertz, and then I can reduce or increase that band, and then if I want I can do another one, turn on 2, set that to 46 Hertz, oops, and reduce. So you can see I can start building up this graph where I'm adding as many, up to 8 bands on this EQ, and I can really dial in the sound of it. And you can use that to flatten out the response of your system. So quite a powerful wee tool, the EQ presets. Low pass filter, as you would expect. So we've got the standard frequency set there. Actually, this is showing both of them from the EQ that I was just playing with. So low pass filter and EQ are fairly similar. Gain. So there is a difference between gain and volume. Volume is like, you know, the level that the amplifier is set at, but gain is kind of like more like your fine trim. So the gain you just set and then you leave it, but the volume you can adjust on the fly either from the app or from the subwoofer itself. Phase, you've got full 0 to 180 degree phase as well as polarity invert. Depending on the position in your room, you want to adjust that. The system auto turn on can be set to music, sense, 12 volt trigger or disabled, if you want to just leave it turned on the whole time. LED brightness, there is an LED on the front of the subwoofer itself. If you want to have that completely off so that you're in a pitch black room, you can. So you can see that they put everything in here. They didn't really skimp out on the settings. You can adjust pretty much everything. Right, so on the back of the subwoofer here, this is the 10-inch that we've got. As far as inputs and outputs go, you've got stereo in and out. Obviously, if you are using LFE input from a home theatre receiver, it would just be the left mono in, so you got left and right in, left and right out on RCA, and then you do have a LFE only, or a subwoofer XLR input and output. So you can't do stereo XLR in, but you do have mono. On the screen itself, so it's got this wee nice rotary encoder here, which you can go up and down, you can click with, and it works really nicely. You don't get as many settings on the back panel as what you do on the app, but it gives you the basics so that you can adjust certain things if you need to. You do have the volume control, but again, like I said before, you don't have the gain control. That's a fine tuning that you do in the app. EQ presets, so I've got my music, movie, impact, and then my 3 customs. And again, you can click on them to select them, but you can't adjust them from here. That's done from the app. You can't imagine adjusting that 8-band EQ on this tiny little display. Low pass filter on and adjust, so you can actually adjust the low pass filter on here. Set it to 90 Hertz and then back. So yeah, that's basically the interface of it. You can see how having those sorts of features available to you, I mean, yes, having them on the subwoofer, of course, great, you want that in a subwoofer, but being able to do it from an app quickly from the listening position while you're listening to music on the fly, very powerful when you're trying to dial a subwoofer or a pair of subwoofers into a stereo system to get them to blend evenly and sound like they disappear. A couple of other little specs that you might be interested in, just in terms of like power and stuff like that. The 10-inch is 425 watts continuous, the 12-inch is 900 watts continuous, and the 15-inch is 1400 watts continuous. So got plenty of power. They're really, really smooth sounding, especially with the ability to change that EQ curve and make the subwoofer sound a bit more like bottom heavy or a bit more punchy and fast, depending on what you're using it for. That's a really nice feature to have. The grills are just magnetic, same as what you get with their speakers. They're just black mesh grills that you can choose to have on or off, and they snap on and off nice and tightly. Give us a call if you want to have a listen to them. You can come down and have a play and see what you think. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ka kite anō.